Inside a California courtroom today, we heard new details about the chaotic scene around Michael Jackson as he lay dying.
What really happened in Michael Jackson's last hours? Leaked recordings and courtroom testimony reveal a star caught between artistic brilliance and physical collapse. From the Staples Center exit to the frantic 911 call, these moments expose the hidden cost of perfection.
Still knowing these things, continue to give him these drugs and these intoxicants.
The emergency room cover-up. The frantic moments following a life-altering crisis were documented in a chilling 911 call that exposed deep failures in medical protocol. As Michael Jackson lay unresponsive, his bodyguard, Alberto Alvarez, became a pivotal witness in the subsequent legal proceedings, offering a harrowing account of the confusion within the mansion. Inside the bedroom, Alvarez saw Dr. Conrad Murray attempting resuscitation on a soft mattress, an ineffective method that defied basic medical standards, while the artist's young children stood nearby, devastated by the scene. The testimony further highlighted a disturbing delay before emergency services were notified, as Alvarez recounted being instructed to conceal medical vials and an IV bag containing a mysterious milky substance before placing the call. This eyewitness account served as a critical component in the prosecution's case, portraying a scene defined by hesitation and attempts to obscure the truth during the final, desperate struggle to save the legendary performer's life while his family suffered in silence. Now it's time for today's topic. A haunting image circulating online shows a man who looks like Michael Jackson lying alone in a bed, his pale face framed by a white pillow and an ornate gold headboard rising behind him. With dark hair falling across his face and a distant expression in his eyes, the scene creates an atmosphere of isolation and sadness. At first glance, it looks like a candid glimpse into a difficult moment, but we only know a little about the image. Also, the image's authenticity is still debated. What is your take? Let us know in the comments. Critical medical delays. Every second counted in the quiet mansion, yet the emergency response became a tragic sequence of missed opportunities and medical missteps. When crisis struck, the initial resuscitation efforts were severely compromised. CPR was performed on a soft bed rather than a firm floor, rendering the chest compressions ineffective despite explicit instructions from the 911 dispatcher. The situation worsened as the responding paramedics were not informed about the propofol that had been administered, leaving them to treat the collapse as a simple exhaustion case. This lack of transparency meant vital, specific life-saving measures were delayed. Upon arrival at the UCLA Medical Center, a dedicated team of professionals battled for an hour, utilizing every advanced resource. 911 dispatcher. The situation worsened as the responding paramedics were not informed about the propofol that had been administered, leaving them to treat the collapse as a simple exhaustion case. This lack of transparency meant vital, specific life-saving measures were delayed. Upon arrival at the UCLA Medical Center, a dedicated team of professionals battled for an hour, utilizing every advanced resource available in a final, exhaustive effort to stabilize him. Tragically, these interventions could not overcome the circumstances already in motion, and Michael Jackson was pronounced deceased at 2:26 p.m., finally concluding a profoundly difficult and somber day for his family. The silent vigil. A final, quiet curtain fell on a life of extraordinary brilliance after a night of intense preparation. Following an electrifying rehearsal, Michael Jackson returned home at 12:30 a.m., his energy masking the profound struggle he was enduring. Behind the private doors of his bedroom, which had become an impromptu medical ward, he received sedative medications intended to ease his chronic insomnia. By 10:40 a.m., still searching for rest, he requested the anesthetic propofol. The events that followed remain a somber point of reflection. A period of silence elapsed, during which the opportunity for intervention was lost. Upon discovering that Jackson was unresponsive, precious time was consumed by ineffective efforts to revive him, unfolding in the presence of his children. When emergency services were eventually contacted at 12:26 p.m., it was too late. The world lost its beloved King of Pop at 2:26 p.m., marking the sorrowful conclusion to his final haunting hours today. The final act. The pressure to preserve a monumental legacy and provide for his family defined Michael Jackson's final chapter in 2009. Faced with a $400 million financial obligation, Jackson embarked on the ambitious This Is It residency, transforming a series of 50 concerts into a dedicated mission to safeguard his estate and his children's future. This monumental undertaking required immense focus, yet the intensity of such a massive project, combined with constant public attention, created an environment of profound pressure, driven by his lifelong commitment to artistic perfection and a desire to prove his genius once more. Jackson pushed forward, despite significant physical challenges. He navigated chronic pain and severe persistent insomnia while pouring his remaining energy into his craft. His reliance on propofol to manage his lack of sleep was a response to these overwhelming circumstances. Ultimately, the residency became a testament to his enduring devotion as he balanced monumental responsibilities with a steadfast heart and spirit. A global farewell. The unexpected passing of Michael Jackson on June 25, 2009, triggered a global wave of grief that moved with
betrayed by the victim and had been entrapped by the victim.
The consequences for his career were permanent. With his medical licenses suspended or withdrawn across the United States, he eventually moved abroad, leaving a legacy defined by this historic pursuit of accountability. Seeking ultimate justice. For years, the public narrative surrounding Michael Jackson's death centered on legal verdicts and medical negligence. But for his daughter Paris, the reality was far more sinister. In a candid 2017 interview, Paris broke her silence, unequivocally stating that she believed her father was murdered, pointing to his final months, marked by grueling exhaustion and vocal warnings that they were out to get him. She dismissed the official conclusion as merely scratching the surface of a larger, calculated setup. While she acknowledged the conviction of Dr. Conrad Murray, she viewed him as a pawn in a deeper, systemic betrayal by those managing his comeback. For Paris, these were not the musings of a conspiracy theorist, but a deeply felt truth shared by those closest to him. It remains a defining, unyielding conviction of her journey, driving her to navigate the complex chess game of her father's legacy entirely on her own terms, seeking long-awaited justice. Myths and reality. Michael Jackson's life has been subject to immense public fascination, often blurring the line between documented fact and persistent rumor. Following his death in 2009, numerous theories emerged, such as claims of a fake death and unverified sightings, which have been dismissed by authorities as lacking any factual basis. His physical transformation also drew significant scrutiny. For years, public discourse frequently speculated that he altered his skin color intentionally. However, medical records later confirmed he suffered from vitiligo, a condition causing pigment loss, providing a clinical explanation for his appearance. Additionally, his personal life faced intense legal challenges throughout his career. Jackson was subject to serious accusations. However, in 2005, a court of law fully acquitted him of all charges. In reflecting on his complex legacy,
advised by those who stood to make fortunes in his business affairs to pay money rather than face certain false allegations.
it remains essential to distinguish between the speculative narratives that have circulated in the media and the established records concerning his health and legal history, which continue to shape historical perspective. The final rehearsals. The This Is It concert residency serves as a poignant reminder of the artistic brilliance that remained until the very end. Designed as a spectacular comeback intended for London, the project represented Michael Jackson's total commitment to his craft. He dedicated himself completely to the rehearsals, striving for absolute technical perfection while working alongside dancers, musicians, and the entire crew to manifest his ambitious creative vision. Despite the immense pressure surrounding the tour, observers